Hey, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. I'm here with marketing expert Cebron Walker. Cebron, thanks for joining me. We are going to talk, I'm going to have my little intro video come in here for a few seconds, but Cebron and I are going to talk about recession-proof marketing for your business and what you can do to get ready.
And that is a great intro video. I love it.
Thanks, yeah. So I'm here with Cebron Walker. We talked last week. He reached out to, well, we've known each other for a very long time.
Forever.
And he reached out to me on LinkedIn again saying, hey, I want to do another podcast. And then we got to talking and we realized we came to the same observation that, heck, we are going to go into a recession and we need to get prepared for that. And I'm going to plug in my microphone to make my sound better.
There we go. Well, I think it's, because about 10 days ago, 11 or 12 days ago, maybe now, I started seeing the media pundits were starting to pump into society this scare message, this you should be stressed message of the recession is coming. The president is talking about it. It might become a thing, get worried. And I started noticing that in the media. And then, you and I talked, and there is a way to recession proof yourself. And then you and I had that conversation.
Absolutely. It was back in 2007, 2008, when we had the financial debacle of that time. And I was working for a gentleman named Bill McIntosh, who is, someone I had known for about 7 years before that, done very well in internet marketing. And I needed to make a little extra cash when the financial collapse. He was making a ton of money, living in a big house, driving a $100,000 car. He was crushing it while everybody was dying. So I showed up to his house and I go, I don't know what you're doing in this internet thing. You got to remember, this is like 2007.
Yeah.
When Twitter just came out.
YouTube probably just started.
Yeah, YouTube just started. Like, it was like, oh, this crazy internet. Social media, that's for kids. And I said, I don't know what you're doing, but I need a job and I need some extra cash. Just teach me what you do. I'll read some books. I'll figure it all out. Which, I did. And he was gracious enough to give me that job. And I realized that as I was reading the books and I was studying about recessions, I came upon this realization that historically recessions are actual massive opportunities for growth. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, it's so true that there's success stories after success stories of the people that take advantage of the situation. And advantage can sound like a bad word, honestly, but True. They're being smart business people, because a lot of people almost subconsciously will start to pull their flippers in. The stress will eat at them, and they may not even realize that they stop promoting, they stop outflowing, they stop communicating to their clients and of course, potential clients, the customers out there that need to buy their products and services. We can't forget that we're not just selling to make money. Each of us individually, and hopefully we have something we're providing that's helpful, that is going to solve a pain point of our target market, of that customer that needs us, whether they be a veterinarian and you have pets, or you're a dentist and you have oral help you need, or you sell plants and you like plants, or you're a gas station and you got gas. Whatever the product is, you're solving a pain point, and that's important for the world to have. Like, we're not in business just to make money. We're solving things for people that they actually do need, and if you keep that in mind, you can't pull your flippers in and stop promoting when everybody's freaking out. They still need your help.
Yeah. And as we're going to go over the 7 points that I wrote in my blog article, and I want your feedback on this, I think even more so during a recession when there's so much negativity, it's an opportunity for you to spread positivity.
Yep.
So, whether it's a dentist, like you said, or a veterinarian, there's a way to make a positive impact. I think it's even more important that we succeed, that we provide for our families, that we provide jobs for others during a recession. Because if your business grows and you're making more money, that means that you can pay your people better, you can hire more people. So now you become part of the solution versus part of the problem, and just adding to it by caving into it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're adding value to the world while everybody else is freaking out and worrying about it. And what's nice about the 7 points, Ed, that you wrote up, because they're so practical, is that anybody can live by them. And we're going to get a chance to talk about them. I know it's exciting, is that it gives you something to do that's positive. And as long as you're doing and making positive action, you won't worry about it. The stress won't break through that to you. You will be the positive force.
Amen. So now before we actually press the record button, we were talking about putting all of these things in writing. So if you're listening to this, this is what I want you to do. If you're listening to this, these 7 points are malleable. They're adjustable to you. You've got to take these 7 points and make them real to your business, but you've got to write it down in terms of the how and the tactics, because there's this mental phenomenon that occurs that the moment you write it down, it forces you to go, okay, I really got to figure this thing out. This is what I got to do, versus we've got to market better. Like, okay, but how, who, when, where, what are the key buttons that you need to push? What are the mechanisms that you need to place? What technologies? All of that needs to be articulated in writing with exactitude, because otherwise it just becomes this, you're adding to your overwhelm, actually.
Yeah. It gets like, it makes it philosophy instead of a practical set of 10. It could be 5 targets. It could be 10 targets, but they're very specific things you're going to do. And I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, great. So everything that we're going to be teaching you, and I'll have a link not only to Cebron's website, and, look, if you need marketing assistance, please reach out to him. But I also want you to take, and I'll put a link to this blog article, take this to heart, write these things down. So the first one I went over was strengthen your relationships with existing clients, partners, and your own team members.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to jump right into this because your bullet points are so perfect, because they're like phone calls, call somebody, send out a letter, send a letter to somebody. I mean, funny enough, getting a letter today is not what it was 10 years ago. It's so cool to get a letter that's handwritten to you from somebody. You're going to open that. It's a different era. Those things are fantastic. Writing a letter to a client, just keeping that communication high. Webinars and masterminds, just like Ed and I are doing here. If you can get on a podcast, on a webinar where you're communicating and sharing your solutions for your target audience, just like this, a fantastic thing to be doing. And then another bullet point you had there, Ed, in your article was just being really attentive, upping your customer service, like being there and doing whatever, if someone says, I need this updated, or, can you help me with this? It's like right now, respond to the text, like right now, respond to the email right now, or call them back. I had a dentist who helps, a pediatric dentist. Friday night, I was at a dinner party it was a graduation night for my nephew. So we were at a big gala, like in a ballroom, and it was 9 o'clock at night. He was over in the other side of the country. And so my phone rings and it's him. And I go out of the ballroom, take his call. All he wanted to say was the email campaign we launched 3 days ago got him 2 braces clients that day. So we sent out an email promo about his fast braces solution, which is a new thing for teenagers to do their braces, and it takes a year, whatever. And we sent this promo out. And all he wanted to do was say, Cebron, your team, they did awesome. I got 2 clients today for braces. And that's a big deal. That's like a good investment for a family to make, right? Yeah. But I took his phone call. I said, that is so fantastic that we got that done for you. I'll let the team know. And he goes, that's all I wanted to let you know, Cebron. Thanks for taking my call. But talk about relationship building. He loves that.
Yeah. It's so funny. I think that, these small, simple actions are powerful when they're done consistently and intentionally.
Yeah.
Because most people, like you said, they pull in their flippers and they're not writing the letters. They're not taking the phone calls. Maybe they're a little slow to respond to the emails for whatever reason. So I think it's really important that you figure out, how can you serve the people that you are already serving better, increase the communication, increase the touch points. Because, I think during a recession, they're also going to pull in their flippers and they may stop spending with you, versus if you strengthen that relationship, they'll go, okay, that's where my money's going to go.
Right. Yep.
And I think that's really, really important. The second point, and this is something that to me is probably one of the most important points, and that is increase your lead flow with prospecting.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a rebirth of late, the last few months, on what prospecting is. And because, a lot of people are like, okay, I don't have enough clients. My pipeline is not full. Well, what is the sequential prior action to filling up a pipeline? Now, you could do it with advertising, which is effective. But what if you don't have a lot of money during a recession? What do you do then? So prospecting is a proactive search. You can do it at will. And in my article, I listed out a lot of these things, but I wanted to get your perspective on, where do you see the strong points and the weak points in this thing called prospecting?
Well, first of all, so well done to you for writing up that definition. And everybody watching, click the link and read this, because Ed has written out, basically defined prospecting newly, and it's so complete. It's a fantastic take on the word. One thing I was talking with, and Ed, I know you know him. Some of our viewers will probably know him. Ethan Dangberg of the Business Academy has a great take. He's a wonderful guy to chat with about stuff like this. And he and I were talking about influencers and how powerful they can be, and how we discount this aspect of prospecting and lead flow. Is that every one of us that are doing business, no matter what type of business we're in, we have a client. And when he's sitting in front of us, he's either in pain, or some aspect of his life needs to be fixed, whatever it is, or he needs to buy a product from us. We don't know how powerful that person is. Now, I was talking with a veterinarian that he says, oh, well, God, I just thought about it. The mayor brings his pets to me. Well, you go, what could that veterinarian go, hey, mayor, what do you need help with? What do you need help with about this, about the city problems? And he goes, well, and we created a scenario. It was just like, there might be some citywide fair he wants to do to raise money for something. But that veterinarian could get involved with that and ally himself with the mayor. And imagine the power of that potential lead flow and prospecting by allying himself with that influencer. And all of us have influencers we're connected with that can tag us in social media, directly connect us with other powerful people that could help us get more clients, help more people. Another one was a chiropractor in South Carolina that we work with. And I was saying, doctor, who do you have that you're helping that we could activate? And he sat there and he went, well, one of the biggest celebrities in our region is this musician who actually happens to be a TV show host on the local TV station on the news. And him and his daughter come to me for chiropractic help. I help him with his golf swing and all this stuff. No kidding. I said, okay, why don't you call him and see if you can get on his TV show? He called him and he got on his TV show the next month. 4 minutes on the news about his chiropractic practice and his physical therapy practice, because we went, why don't you ask him how he could help you and how you can help him? And he got on the show and talked about physical therapy and how this can help everybody out there with their sports and stuff like that. So you create situations where you help each other. You, of course, don't want to do that. And I know you're going to have lots of opinions about this, but you don't want to just ask for things. You want to ask how you can help them. You do that well, they will help you.
Of course. Yeah. It's almost like there's like a social contract built within us, in our DNA. I help you. You're kind of like, you have to return the flow. Otherwise you feel guilty. And it's not that you're trying to make the person feel guilty. It's just the law of reciprocity.
Yep.
If I outflow help, I'm probably going to inflow help.
Totally. And talk about a great way to take it, not a great way to recession-proof yourself, is activate these connections you've got. So you're all helping each other, and
yep. Yeah. And that's something we could do. See, that doesn't require money. You can get on the phone and call somebody and go, what help do you need right now?
Yep.
And it's amazing what happens when you help. So look, prospecting is about being proactive. I really want to stress that. It does not rely on money. It relies on effort and initiative. Yep. So if you're bemoaning your state of existence because of financial problems, you can just get on the phone and make 100 phone calls. You can send out 100 invitations on LinkedIn going, hey, I'm looking to connect with more professionals. There's business meetups that you could go to. Like, you just got to get out there and be, it's called networking.
Yeah, working. And I'll tell you, and I'm gonna do a lead prospect, if you don't mind here, because it just made me think of this. When what you and I are doing right now is exactly that. And actually, so that I can help even as many people as I can possibly reach, I just decided a little over a week ago, right when we were talking actually about this thing we're doing, is I'm going to do a virtual marketing bootcamp on Saturday, July 2nd. And Ed, if we can put in the link somewhere up or below whenever we launch this, that people can attend this. And I've priced it at $99 a seat. We're going to spend 5 hours intensely going through your marketing plans and all the best practices today of what successful businesses and entrepreneurs are doing, for 5 hours, just intensely on Saturday, July 2nd, starting at 8 in the morning, California time, Pacific time, 8 to 1:30. That last half hour from 1:30 to 2, we can Q&A and we can all chat and network together. But I want to get as many people as we can there to spend 5 hours together, really dig in on marketing so that we can all recession-proof our marketing and our businesses to grow through this. So yeah, it'd be great. And then, anyway, I wanted to put that plug there because that's my prospecting right now.
Yeah. And when you send me that link, I will definitely add that to the video.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next point, just keep moving here, is encourage and empower. I think that when things are negative, and what I meant by encourage and empower is, how can you 10x the positivity of your message? It's very easy. And I get caught into this too, by the way, Cebron. Yeah. I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty. There's a lot of negativity, and there I am doing my negative content on social media going, yeah, this sucks, and that guy sucks, and the president sucks, and Congress sucks, and the economy sucks. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting sucked into this. Everything sucks, right? Yeah. And I think and I'm not saying that you can't leave your comments or you shouldn't. I'm just saying maybe balance that out with some positivity. Do you have some examples of how you've helped people kind of up their positivity in their messaging?
Well, I really like this, and I'm looking, right, when I look sideways, is because I'm looking at your article, right?
Yeah.
And it's like what you said here. Mark Vincent Hansen, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, said so clearly, people don't buy with their head, but with their heart. The heart is closer to the wallet. That's such a great saying. But it's true with each of our clients, when we really adjust their messaging to talk about how they help the target audience, that builds that empathy. And Ed, we do a lot of video marketing at Walker Creative. So we shoot a lot of video with our clients, and we do a lot of video advertising. And the reason we do that is because video does build empathy, because you like, look at what us here, we see each other's eyes, we hear our voices, we build an understanding, and you build a little bit of trust for me because you know that I know what I'm talking about because you see me.
Right.
And that empathy is really important. And when you do that, what do we get? We get a client, because now they're going to come to us because they know us and they trust us. So we build that into our marketing. We'll win every time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Be empathetic. If you're positive and empathetic in a time of negativity, you're always going to win. Next point, focus on what drives growth. And I subtitle is Know Your Numbers. I think that a lot of people, they don't look at their stats or their KPIs.
Yeah.
And they get into this, particularly during a recession, they get more hectic, overworked, and they forget to look at their numbers because they're so scatterbrained.
Yeah.
And I think you really got to, even more so, you got to know exactly what's driving the growth and what's not. Eliminate it. Like you have to economize during an emergency.
Yeah.
But not just financially. You got to also economize your efforts and your motions. So
there's a really important piece of data to apply is economize, but also recognize what's working and put more energy behind what's working. So if you don't know what you could be losing money or what's not being as profitable, that's one thing to cut out. But actually what's more important than that is recognizing what's the most profitable and what's getting you the most attention online, and putting more energy, more money, more investment behind the things that are getting you what you want. The attention, the profitability, the services. Like if you as whatever it is that you do, if you have products or services that are your most profitable 5, let's say you pick your 5 things that are your most profitable services to offer. Good. And then you go, which ones are getting the most attention? And you start to, by just a little bit of analysis and looking at your numbers, like you're saying, put more energy behind that. And use all the information we're talking about, the empathy, using video, establishing trust behind those things, right?
Yeah, I agree. Agreed. And you know what's so funny, it's not funny, it's actually sad, is, when I'll sit down with a prospective client, I'll ask them, hey, can you tell me the top 3 ways that you get new customers? And they're like, well, referrals. I get a lot of referrals. I go, okay, good, referrals, right? I'm writing it down. Where else do you get clients? I guess I get them from my website. Okay, website. Where else do you get clients? I think, well, honey, do we have any other place we get clients? It's like they don't even know where the business is coming from.
You're the first person who's asked them in a year, and it's scary. And Ed, you're so correct, because I find the same thing when I'm working with, especially with a new client or someone who's not yet a client, but they're saying, hey, I need help with my marketing. Maybe you can help me. And I go, okay, so right now in your current situation, where do you get the most clients? And they go, hey, just like you just said, hey, they look at their office manager. Do we keep track of that? And they go, you know what, Cebron, I just realized we don't actually keep track of where our clients come from.
Right.
Yeah.
So now when clients may be harder to get during a recession because people are pulling back, now's the time to really know your numbers. So that's why I put that in there. It's like, it's also another funny thing is I go, well, I get them mostly from referrals.
Yeah.
I go, okay, that's good. I go, tell me about your proactive referral campaign. If this is the best place to get clients, what are you doing And they're like, it's your number one source and you have no referral program.
They don't know how it's happening. It's just happening, which is great. It's good if it's working.
Yeah.
But now the next step to be a little better at that is to know why it's working.
Yeah. I mean, if you knew why it was working and you could increase your referrals by 20%, what would that do for your business? They're like, oh my gosh, I'd make so much more money. I literally I talked to a dentist one time and I said, what is the best referral you ever received in terms of the amount of money spent? So I thought about it, and he goes, well, I had a really good client bring in his wife, and she got a full mouth restoration. You know, she was older, all the good teeth, right? Spent like $45,000.
Awesome.
So I said, so your best referral made you $45,000. How many referrals do you get, and what's the average? And he's like, well, I probably get about 15 referrals a month, and on the average, it's about maybe $8,000 per person. So I said, good, you're making $80,000 to $100,000 a month on referrals, and you made $45,000 on your best. How do you get the referrals, and how can you proactively turn on that faucet? He's like, I have no idea. Like you said, they just happen because I'm good. I said, what if we increased your referrals by 20%? He goes, I'd probably make an extra $20,000 a month just by doing something.
Yeah, just something.
And I go, what if I got you 4 of those $45,000 clients in a year? You'd make an extra $200,000 just by doing something proactive. So when you know your numbers and you can double down on what's successful, there's a lot of money to be made. So I really want to stress that point. Now we're coming kind of circle to another point that we talked about earlier. Number 5, create video content consistently and inexpensively.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've touched on it repeatedly already, but you know what I love about your write-up is it makes it practical because I think and a lot of people seeing this, either they do some video or they know they should be doing video. They watch video all day. We all do. The stats are totally conclusive. You got to start looking at using video in your marketing. But you go, here are my top video ideas. Let me just read them out. They're fantastic. So first of all, how to. If you go on YouTube, there's how to do at anything you can imagine, right? So you do a video in your industry of how to do blah, whatever it is, like I could imagine a pediatric dentist, how to brush your children's teeth without a fight every day, right? Like how to, build your nursery, how to build your own raised garden bed, and then you sell all the products associated with it at your nursery. Every industry has a how-to video you could do that would bring you business. Yep. And your next step, answers to frequently asked questions. An FAQ is a fantastic video. Come up with 3 or 5 or 7 questions you get asked all the time and do a video. I'd love to share an example because I did this with a doctor. I said, write them down on a piece of paper. Right. Literally write the questions down. And then I don't even care if you just turn on your camera and you go, I get asked all the time, how do I know if I need a root canal? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, because the doctor knows how to answer the question, but he doesn't know what the question is because he doesn't think about it. So I made him read the question, and then he turns to the camera and he goes, this is what you do. Because he knows how to answer the question. He does it for patients all day long. Yeah. So that's the easy part. Writing down the questions focuses your attention. So write down 3, 5, or 7 questions you get asked all the time, and then just tell the camera, post it. Great one. I'm going to go through these quicker now. Case studies, success stories, fantastic testimonials, awesome stuff there. Always, those are fantastic marketing. Yes. Reports on industry trends. Well, just like what Ed, you just did right here, is you talked about studies show that 78% of us are watching videos and 55% are watching every day. So studies in your industry, great stuff. Interviews with business leaders. You and I are doing that right now. Product demonstrations, good. Show me how it works. Before and after examples, before braces, after braces, something.
Perfect. That's a perfect example. Like, here's their teeth before, here's their teeth now that I've done what I do. Yep, exactly. Perfect. Talk about local events. That's really good community building. Anybody who has a local business that's involved with a community, to just talk about the 4th of July parade that's coming up, or the Easter egg hunt that's coming up that we're going to be involved with, or the school drive that we're all going to do in the community to get pencils and pens and pads for all the kids when school starts again in August. Anything like that. Fantastic stuff for a video. And then share your top 10 list. Ed, you can share an example of that. I don't know what a top 10 list might be, but. Top 10 lists is, like if I was a dentist, to be, what are the top 10 toothbrushes that,
Oh,
you could pick? Or, what are the top 10 ways to get to whiten your teeth?
okay.
Right. You could
Yep.
be, what are the top 10 days to see a dentist? I don't know, like the day after Christmas, because no one's coming to the dentist that you can get in right away the day after. I don't know. When you get creative,
Yeah.
you can come up with all this stuff, and this content becomes evergreen, meaning you can email it out once a year because within that year, you've added new people onto your email list.
Yeah.
Or new followers on social media. Well, we posted that last year, right? But we got more followers now. They didn't see it the first time.
Yeah.
Post it again.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just did a video on the top 9 ways to use your video once you recorded it. So there's the top 9. It doesn't have to be top 10. I just, it could
top
be top
5.
7 things, top 5 things, whatever. Yeah. But the ways to do blah in your industry.
Yeah, these are just ways to do video. And look, you can do it on TikTok for free. You can do it on YouTube for free. You can do this on Facebook Live for free. You know where it really sold me on video? There were 2 instances, actually. One, I was doing Facebook Live many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I would do it every day, and I got almost no response. I was doing it for 3 months. I was really thinking to myself, going, I feel like I'm just speaking into the air, and no one's listening. I live in Las Vegas. I flew to Clearwater. I walk into a random coffee shop. True story. Sitting there drinking my coffee, visiting my kids. Guy walks in. He goes, "You're the guy on caffeinated content on Facebook Live." I'm like, I'm 3,000 miles away, and I just got recognized in a random coffee shop.
That's awesome.
I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? I'm going to double down on these videos. Number 2, I was at the 10X conference with Grant Cardone here in Vegas 2 years ago. And as they would switch out the speakers, they would bring up people to talk about their successes with Grant's coaching program.
Okay.
They would have, and over the weekend, they probably interviewed 40 people. At the end of it, after the success story, they go, "By the way, how'd you find out about Grant Cardone?" 95% of the people said, "I found Grant Cardone on YouTube." Watched his videos, then bought his book, then got involved in the program. YouTube was the gateway drug for the vast majority of people that got involved with Grant Cardone. So you could see why Grant put so much effort into those videos, because that's where he's getting business, and that could be working for all of us as well.
Well, I'll give you one really quick last example as well, is that, I try, and I'm not the best, at doing it, but you got to work on it, is I send a monthly newsletter to a big list of people that, I hope can have marketing help. And so I've sent this out, and there was a guy in Chico, California that was on my mailing list. He owns an auto body repair shop. It's not even a target market for me, but he got on my list from, I don't know, a webinar or something. Mm-hmm. So I send out videos all the time, share examples of videos Walker Creative is doing. And he's been on my mailing list for 1.5 years. Out of nowhere, he calls me one day and he goes, "Cebron, I need professional videos of my auto body shop here in Chico, California." I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be in Sacramento and this month I can come by. It was a very profitable client who we booked a really good contract to shoot all their videos. We created a whole YouTube channel for them, a set of 8 different videos. They're using it for video advertising now all over his region, all from Walker Creative, from simply having him on my mailing list and sending him my YouTube videos, sending him my newsletters on email.
Which brings me to my next point, CRM.
There we go.
Number 6, a customer relationship management. It blows me away how many people do not stay in touch with their database or past clients.
Yeah. It's a moneymaker. It's to stay in touch with your email list, send them useful content. Of course, you don't want to send them sales pitches every week. It's annoying, and it's going to just drive them away. They're going to unsubscribe. Send them valuable content that they can use, that's helpful. Send out stuff that's educational, that's knowledge, that great stuff. I love this point.
Yeah, and people ask me, what's the best CRM to use? And I say the one you use. That's the best one. I don't know if there's the best one out there. A lot of them, there's some out there that are very, very affordable, like Zoho. Very, it's like $15 or $20 a month. So not having a CRM is, there's no excuse. Money is not an excuse. Now, which brings me to my next point number 7 of how to scale affordably. I have found one of the ways to scale all these points, like using a CRM, getting your emails out, posting social media, is to retain the services of a virtual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that virtual assistant may be in the Philippines or Colombia, or maybe you hire an assistant locally, like a college student, to help you with your marketing. But I think that it seems counterintuitive, like, well, I'm in a recession, I need to hire somebody and pay more money. But if you can have that person systematize and bring accountability to all the earlier actions, that's where the scaling occurs. Hence, you're reaching more people during a time when everybody's pulling in.
It's great. And Ed, I mean, I'll be honest, I read this section and I thought, how can I better optimize that for myself? Because if I had more hours in the day that I could stay awake to get
Right.
out more outflow, and I go, well, I can't. That's why scaling is so important, because you can't. You can only do so much.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll tell you how I use a virtual assistant. In fact, the call right before I got with you, I was on the phone with 3 of my virtual assistants. I have one virtual assistant who builds websites for me.
Wow.
Yeah. I have another virtual assistant who sends out my invitations every day on LinkedIn. She sends out 100 invites. I am growing by 1,000 new followers per month on LinkedIn through her actions. She scrapes the data, and then she gets on the phone and she calls them and says, hey, you just connected with Edwin. Just want to know if you needed help with any of your marketing. They're doing all this for me at $8-9 an hour, right?
Amazing.
Right? So I literally am growing my connections on LinkedIn. They're actually setting the appointments. It shows up on my Google Calendar. And now we're going to be getting into cold emailing, where we're going to be ramping up to be sending out 1,000 cold emails a day. And I don't mean spam cold emails. I mean, they're sitting there writing the emails at scale with software.
To real actual leads.
To real actual leads. And we actually say, hey, I was on your website and I saw this, but I can scale that. And I could be having 4 to 8 appointments a day through my virtual assistants.
I feel like we're giving like the secrets away of the universe.
But you know what? I'll tell you something, Cebron. I give them away, and where 99% of the people fails, they just don't do it. Yeah, you're right. I probably should.
Totally. Taking action is so important. I mean, I know. We do our best. I mean, honestly, you and I are sharing all this right now together. And, I really hope it's incredibly helpful to everybody watching. And I think I was at the 10X conference as well, and other things I've been to. And Gary V says this as well, and something I saw him in San Francisco. And it's like, as much as effort as we can put into trying to help as much as we can, only a small percentage are going to take action.
Yep.
So I wish that the people watching, like, take action, do steps of what we're talking about. Even if it's a couple things, take action. That's what's going to recession-proof you.
Yeah, the world is going to, what is it? Only the bold, where the bold dare. I forget the exact quote, but you got to be bold and take the actions, or hire someone like myself or Cebron or both of us, and we can put people and processes and work for you. Whether it be his team, my team, virtual assistants, or you just take this and want to build your own team, I'm fine with that as well. But You're right. We got to take action. Cebron, thank you so much for being on this.
Totally.
You send me the links. I'll add them.
Yep.
To all your workshops and stuff like that. Guys, hope you take this to heart. Thank you once again for joining us on Growth Driven. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.